soldiers of the Protectorate. That the Protectorate of Menov has been able to establish itself as one of the great military powers in Western Imran is the result of a century of effort and dedication. Lacking the larger population of their rivals, the Sulamanites compensate with fanatical resolve. Nowhere else in the Iron Kingdoms does such a high percentage of the population stand ready to fight and die for their nation and their beliefs. The Great Crusade creates a constant need for armed combatants. The Protectorate's fighting forces comes from a diversity of martial orders, each with its own rules, roles, traditions, and hierarchy. The specializations of these orders can be combined to allow the Protectorate to field a surprisingly flexible army well suited to meet any enemy on the battlefield. Such armies often include a mix of hardened elite forces who have trained their entire lives for battle, relatively unskilled volunteer militia who are nonetheless armed with formidable weaponry, and priests who tend to the spiritual well-being of the army and provide support through powerful battlefield prayers. All citizens within the Protectorate are expected to contribute to the nation's military might when called upon. Common citizens are not enlisted into any of the martial orders, can be levied at a moment's notice by local priests. The simple ringing of bells can summon an entire village to retrieve hidden stashes of weapons, and these same priests lead these zealots into battle. Among the Protectorate citizens are thousands who enroll in local militias, volunteering a portion of their time to more active service. The largest such group are the Deliverers, who practice military drills to effectively use their weaponry. Most rank-and-file Deliverers alternate between this service and providing civilian labor for their nation. Deliverer arms masters and other leaders are more likely to have committed to this service as a career, giving up all other pursuits to organize and train fresh recruits. While the military of the Protectorate relies on militias and citizen levies to provide for defense, such groups do not make up the heart of its army. The Protectorate retains several major military orders whose members dedicate their lives to battling the faithless. The largest of these groups is the Flame Guard. These career soldiers comprise the core of the Protectorate's garrisons and many crusading armies. Any citizen of the Protectorate may apply for induction into the Flame Guard, but not all are accepted. Those most likely to be welcomed into training are healthy youths aged 16 to 18, those in the prime of their lives who are ready to be forged into Templar defenders. All who endure the rigorous regiment serve first amongst the Temple Flame Guard, learning the spear and the shield. Most soldiers serve 6 to 10 years before returning to civilian life, released to start a family and perform other labors for the Protectorate. The most dedicated continue in this role until death or old age prevents them from fulfilling their duties. The Flame Guard is a large and versatile organization with several specialized branches. Some of his soldiers who display the proper temperaments are chosen for these more focused roles. Those with unshakable faith and unflinching resolve may be appointed as Flame Guard cleansers, specialized in applying cleansing flame to heretics both within and outside of the Protectorate. Those who show the capacity for leadership and the ability to channel the holy power of Menov might be initiated as priests of the Incendium, a branch of the clergy dedicated to the Flame Guard and connected to its upper leadership. Although fewest in number are the Daughters of the Flame, hand-picked women selected for their drive and aptitude for inflicting vengeance. Most daughters have lost family members to the Protectorate's enemies and are willing to sacrifice their own lives to see this injustice rectified. The most elite martial orders of the Protectorate are the Knights Exemplar, the Order of the Fist, and the Order of the Wall. Training and duties associated with these orders are far more intensive, and those who enter their service commit for a lifetime. Members are recruited and begin training at a very young age, with initiates of the Knights Exemplar typically joining at the age of 12 and paladins of the Order of the Wall at age 10. There is no specific age for joining the Order of the Fist, but many of its initiates were passed into its monastery while still young children, including a number of orphans who have known no other upbringing. While some youths display an eagerness to serve the nation in this capacity, many are turned over by parents eager to see their children attain honorable positions and serve Menoph himself. The Knights Exemplar accepts the largest number of new initiates every year to sustain the number of the far-flung crusades. These elite orders shape and mold their young initiates, transforming them into embodiments of the order, into each order's essential principles. This extensive martial training requires habits and instincts that can only be drilled into them for over many years. It is rare to find a mature adult with the temperament to complete such training in life. The Knights Exemplar must learn to be perfectly obedient instruments of the priesthood and the Scrutator caste, unflinching in the execution of all orders. Allegiants of the Order of the Fists are steeped in an unforgiving martial philosophy that lets them transcend the limits of ordinary flesh and bone. Paladins of the Order of the Wall have a unique and ancient code of behavior based on protecting the faithful that sets them apart from the rest of the temple and often puts them at odds with the ruling Scrutators. For this order, even more than the others, it is a priority to forge within their recruits mental fortitude and deeply ingrained morality, qualities equally as vital as martial prowess. The combined might of the martial orders, both old and new, along with the masses of the faithful willing to take up arms at a moment's notice, has catapulted the Protectorate of Menoph into a position of power amongst the Iron Kingdoms. Guided by their faith in the Creator of man, the armies of the Protectorate march forth to see Menoph's will be done.